Morning, I'm Woodason. I'm the founder and CEO of Sovereign Ships. And today I'm here to show you what the future is going to look like. So imagine, if you will, you're either retired or working from home, and you're living full-time aboard your own personal yacht. Now this is tough, but just hang with me for just a second. So unlike most yachts, you're not going to have to worry about fuel because you're running on renewable resources. You're not going to have to worry about supplies because your ship has an interior garden and water makers providing sustenance. And you're not going to have to worry about engine noise, vibration, exhaust, or maintenance because you've got electric motors. So in other words, unlike the vast majority of yachts out there today, you're not going to be stuck in the marina. You're going to be out exploring nature, immersing yourself in the wild, and cruising up and down the coast and around islands. And
sold. Where do I buy?
and enjoying your retirement out in the wild. You'll still have the opportunity to stop in at marinas and check out cities from time to time, but you will not be required to. And the best part is that at any point you can set off for anywhere in the world that you want to. So that's what we're going to enable with Sovereign Ships. So before I get into the company, I'll share a little bit of background on myself. I'm a mechanical engineer out of the Air Force Academy. I flew C-130s for the Air Force. I flipped and rented several properties, traveled the States and Mexico in a fifth wheel RV, and then built, tested, and operated my own two-seat aerobatic airplane, which was IFAR certified, GPS, autopilot coupled, had all the bells and whistles, and the seat here.
Don't have it.
I sold it. A year and a half ago to start Sovereign Ships, and I've been working on Sovereign Ships full time.
RV6?
RV7, good eye.
So your name Sovereign Ships basically is the sovereign part is basically the freedom.
So each of our ships is self-sufficient to the point where they're considered their own island. I got it. That's exactly right. So what are we doing with Sovereign Ships? We're on a mission to accommodate people's increasing desire for freedom and adventure. And we're going to do that by providing a self-sufficient environment that offers life's essentials such as food, water, shelter, energy, and mobility. And this guarantees a set quality of life and the next level of freedom. So what are our Sovereign Ships? Sovereign Ships are solar electric yachts with interior gardens, and they enable full-time ocean living without the need to refuel or resupply. You can think of them as spaceships without their warp engines, and that's where the idea came from. Now, they are designed to act as an oasis on the vast desert that is the ocean, and they're each well suited to handle the hazards associated with that environment. They're certified CE Class A, making them ocean-going vessels, and are easily controlled and maintained by a single operator. The interiors are simple, practical, and comfortable, and each room's utility is maximized to provide the same capabilities you would expect in a modern home. The panoramic windows make the interior seem more spacious compared to normal ships. And the perimeters house raised garden beds, which provide sustenance for the crews. So these ships offer that self-sufficient environment that turns them each into their own private island. So on top of boating and RVing customers. There are also several macro demand drivers that are going to be pushing people towards our ships. Such as more and more people are working from home. More people are wanting freedom and self-sufficiency. There's an increasing desire for green technology and electric vehicles. There's much more people wanting to reconnect with nature and leaving the city. And social media is popularizing adventurous lifestyle. So all this leads to a massive demand, which current markets are currently well into the billions on. And the only limit to ocean colonization is your imagination. So this is a massive opportunity, but someone's still got to execute on it. And we've got the team that's ready, willing, and able to do just that. So I've got help currently with marketing and several key advisors to keep me on track. I've also partnered with DOPA Naval Architects for regulatory compliance and with Bro Brother Enterprises in Louisiana for the first proof of concept build.
When will that be?
As soon as mid next year.
Mid next year?
Yep.
How many designs you got?
8 currently, and the first prototype is going to be the top left. It's a 36-foot aluminum ship, and it was the most ship-like design that I had. So I went with the simplest design to get started. And we'll market it, take it around to shows, and test it to get feedback and lessons learned that we can incorporate into future designs, such as the bottom right, which is a swath ship, which will be much more stable and much quicker, but it is much more complex. Trying to start simple.
Okay, go ahead.
So the next land of the free, in my opinion, is going to be on international waters. And to prove this concept, you can look at where the big players are going, and the super yacht industry, they're all headed to sea, and the masses will be soon to follow. And we're going to make that practical to do so. Summarize, we offer more freedom and a better lifestyle. And we're looking for partners to team up with us and help speed us along in that process. And we will build a better future. Thank you.
For the power source, are you doing solar? And for the food source, have you thought of aquaculture in addition to hydroponics for the food source? Sorry.
Everyone wants to hear the question.
Yeah, for the power source, you're using solar and the lithium batteries to store the energy. And for the food source, well, I'm asking, and for this food source, have you thought about hydroponics or aquaculture since you're already on the ocean?
Yeah, so our primary source is going to be solar, like you said. We also have, there's a kite sail system that's on the market that we're going to incorporate into these ships, which will get you a much quicker if you're out on the ocean. It does a figure 8 in the sky, in the wind, to get a lot more speed. So that's a backup source of power as well. And then we'll also have generators as an emergency backup. And you asked about the garden.
For your food, yeah, because you're already in an area where there's a lot of water and also the yield, depending on if you're using soil, just the presence of microorganisms and bugs. So it might just be easier to just do aquaculture or hydroponics.
That's true. This system is based on the square foot gardening technique, which has its own mix of soil, which is about half the weight compared to normal soil. And the yield is enough to feed 2 people per 64 square feet. So 1 person every 32 square feet. And we've got enough on the first ship to feed 4 people using that system. And I'll also test out hydroponic system as well. I went with the dirt-based garden originally because it's got a lot more versatility, and you can't grow all the plants with a hydroponic system. Yes, sir.
2.5 questions. The first question and a half is, can you better identify your ideal customer and what are they buying instead at this time? And then the second question is, where are you at in your financing?
Sure. So our customer is ideally a work from home, a tech-enabled work from home, and looking to get out of the city. There's a lot of customers that are living on other yachts, and electric yachts are getting more popular. There's about 6 companies right now. None of them are trying to go full off grid like this, but they're in the 700 and 900K price range. And as far as the financing, I am bootstrapping this myself, and we are raising capital to get that first prototype up and running. So the minimum investment is 20K if you guys want to get involved.
You're first.
Go ahead.
My question is, yeah, great presentation. Thank you for the presentation.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
Very. Did I miss the part? Mentioned hurricanes, storms, the safety, security part.
You can cover that.
Okay.
So
You want to tell us more about that?
sure, these are CE Class A ships. So they're rated for ocean going like any other normal yacht would be. And you'd be watching weather like you would on any other yacht. And the weather system we're going to be using is a Garmin system. And yeah, it's got a radar with it. We'll also have satellite internet on the ship to help you out with that.
The gentleman here had one. We got one.
Go ahead.
The 2 W's, water and waste. How do you manage that?
So as you get fresh water, we've got rainwater collection as one system. Pull water off of the air conditioning system as well. And the desalination. Got a desalination system that'll do up to 40 gallons an hour.
How much is a desal system for a boat like that?
About 3K.
That's not bad.
Yeah, they're getting a lot better.
Okay, the waste,
Waste, you will pump out like you would on any other ship.
so you'd have to go into port, dock, and use their facilities to pump.
If you're in the marina, then you do pump out. They don't let you dump in all marinas. But if you're out on the ocean, then no, you just dump into the ocean.
Oh, well, that's what happens now. Most people just.
Makes it easy.
And then what do you anticipate the entry level price to be in these yachts?
So that's gonna be tough. We're gonna start off cost competitive with the electric ships. And then I'm
What's that? I don't even know what that means. I don't.
700 to 900K.
Okay, $1 million.
From there, yeah,
What for what size? 36?
36 footer. It'll sleep up to 4. I'm looking to this as the mass market entry level vehicle, so eventually get bounty colored.
You just got a prototype? Have you started to build a prototype? Are you gonna build this thing like you built your plane? How are you gonna?
So I've got the blueprints set for the first prototype, the ship on the upper left.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got the quote on it, and it's all ready to go.
Just need
Waiting on the
unfunded.
bucks. Yep.
You tried partnering with other yacht manufacturers.
Actually did initially. I had the idea for this in 2015 and played around with it. I've mostly been studying ships since then, but I did try and license out my designs to other yacht manufacturers, and they didn't think it was a part of their customer base. So it's more of an adventure, self-sufficient.
That's untraditional, so they don't want to change from a tradition.
That's too big of a change for them. But yeah, I did try to license it out.
Got a question back here.
Sure.
Do you have any potential entities that would say, you know what, we love what you do, can we get 50 of them? You know, some quantity, or is this a kind of an individual?
I haven't got any orders. Like,
Yeah, he's got it.
that'd be nice if you know anyone like that.
He's only gonna be able to get early adopters at this.
My question is, in regards to food, meaning if you have a garden as a source of food, that implies that only people who eat vegetables would be the consumer base. So would that eliminate like normal, like people that eat meat and stuff?
Yeah, you can also supplement by fishing.
Okay, so it will be fish.
I would definitely do that. I'd do spear fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your target market? Is it, I know you have people working from home, but are you trying to get people doing, like, for example, taking a month-long Airbnb? Are you trying to get people who have the money to buy a yacht and then for self, to just do like, to self-sustain it? Like, who exactly are you trying to capture here?
So this is a full-time ship. It's probably not gonna be well suited for rentals because of the complexity of raising your own garden. So I expect people to fight as a lifestyle choice and get back out into nature at least for a couple years.
And,
And you will finance the ships
And
like
so-
you would any other yacht.
and so the market, like, cause I see people like on YouTube, like you said, doing RV life, different things like that. So are you like targeting like millennials who might have the disposable income instead of renting? Are you trying to propose this as an option instead of renting and spending maybe 1,500 a month and not owning anything? Now you own a boat and you can be off the grid.
That's right. And yeah, it depends on where you're living. The cost comparison, if you're not just going for the pure lifestyle and you want it to actually make financial sense, if you're living in a city and you move on to one of these things, that's probably where it's going to be cost competitive.
And the reason I ask is because like I'm from an area where people do own boats, but there's a little bit of a learning curve to how to manage a boat.
Yeah.
So were you trying to like partner with schools or basically institutions that basically train people how to get their licenses or whatever to own their own boats, operate their own boats? But I feel like part of the expense is that you might have, if you have a yacht, you might hire a captain to run your boat. So are you like trying to partner with schools? Or are you trying to partner with basically even Airbnbs or basically companies for adventure, companies for training people, companies for your market, people who want to have a boat anyway, already there. Is already there.
Yeah, I was planning to, after we get the first prototype built, start doing just cranking out YouTube videos, and I'll start educating everyone on the process. And I'll reference different schools you can go to and all the training that you need to get. But yeah, I haven't partnered with any kind of.
And they don't have that deal, people don't. It's like I had professors
Place to start.
I'm from an island. I had professors who lived their whole life in boats. And they would have loved it because every Friday they'd have to come in, get all their stuff, go back to the boat. It's a hassle.
There you go.
Can you tell us more about your team? Because wise investors focus more on the team than the product.
Sure. I've been over my background. My marketer, Anna Marquez, has a bachelor's and 2 masters in marketing. I've got industry advisor Joseph Garusi, who is been designing and building yachts for the past 20 years. He's currently working on a submarine. He started his own submarine company.
Submarines?
And it's actually a hydrofoiling submarine, so it'll hydrofoil on the surface. And I've also got a general counselor who's another Air Force Academy guy, top 50 general counselors in the world. Level businessman who's been helping me get the word out locally in Pensacola.
Who's that?
Good spot. Oh. Yep, that's Bob.
I assume this is great, I assume you get a thorough customer discovery. Talk to a lot of people. Oh yeah, jumping on, when can I have it?
Yeah, most
How do you
people-
validate it?
Yeah, the temperature is, most people get the idea, they like it,
I know,
not sure that it's gonna work. I think I'm gonna have to show them first.
so majority of window shopping, you have to find people, they can't live without it.
Yeah.
Get the business going.
Yep.
Someone you have to shoot for. Talk to 10 dozens of people, at least 1 or 2 or 3 to say, I can't, okay, so can I have it? You get that kind of a response. We're taking now.
Have you opened the beta testers who are willing to go on your boats for you and give you feedback?
There we go, there's the response.
Sounds great.
It's not a terrible idea, though.
Questions are
Sorry.
Well, my statement more so, you stated earlier with her question that you're gonna design these to make it easier to drive. You can just pretty much get in and just drive around like with the steering wheel, is that correct?
It will be simpler much simpler than sailboat.
Okay, and your target market, in my opinion, I think it should be retirees, like she said, millennials, but also, if you make them more customized, make them look a little. They would sell a lot more so with being able to own like a regular normal yacht. And then also companies would buy them like they would do, like I got a couple friends of mine, they buy an $800,000 house in Airbnb. I'm not quite think easy. But so I mean, there's a lot of different markets out there for you. I think what your main focus should be right now is getting that prototype up and running and get it operational and pretty much get with a better design company where you could have some newer designs. But if you make them look more attractive, people with real money can buy them, and they're gonna drop in a bucket, $1 million, nothing to throw in that sort of car. So, yeah, so.
And I'm teamed up with DLBA for the vehicle architecture, and they will help with the design as well, so I'm pretty good, but I want to consider myself the world's best.
Okay.
So,
And with this question, I know your team, your staff is gonna get a lot larger. Already.
they will-
So I also wanted to ask, have you thought about or something for, this is gonna be massively labor and capital intensive, to these boats. And it's gonna be quite, depending on your production processes, it's gonna be quite a significant timeline. So have you thought about, if you're trying to raise capital, have you thought about, number one, getting orders, or number two, or crowdfunding, like equity crowdfunding or something like that? So you can really go to an investor and say, we have this many people that, we have this 1,000 people want to buy one, right? And they've already put in their refundable order, and that would go a long way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would jump on crowdfunding. I have noticed they don't. Yeah, the crowdfunding route hasn't. It looks like a good place to market, but not necessarily to raise funds. It seems like they take a lot of time to raise, and you got to put a lot of effort into it.
Look beyond Kickstarter and Indiegogo, there are crowdfunding sources out there that are equity. They're SEC rated, they're looking at investors, they're not looking at people that want to just buy a single product and be part of that early adopter stage. They're actually investors in crowdfunding circles, and I can put you in touch with someone here in town who does that. There's a few different ones.
Well, there's a few here in town.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that for sure.
Being electric, are there telematics, like you have a technology in place that kind of update your system? And the only reason I asked is I've worked with Watershed before, they're the electric boat company in town. And Osmosis is their telematics. and a white label.
Telematics.
Yes. An application for updating their software on their electric boats. It's all,
So we're going to use a Victron energy management system, and they've got their own app that goes along with that. And we'll tie it into a Garmin unit. I'm not at the point where I'm ready to build my own app quite yet. We'll get there soon enough though.
It's a challenge.
Capital, yep.
Can I ask you a question? Who are your direct and indirect competitors? Sorry, who are your direct and indirect competitors?
Very nice. Yeah, there are about 6 electric yacht companies. And you know, non-electric sailboats range from, for the similar size vessel, they'll be in the 250 to 500K range. And motorboats are in the 350 to about 650K range.
You know,
So electric is still more expensive.
and are you at the stage where you determine what people are willing to pay for it?
We're still trying to find product market fit. We're still early enough to where we're just trying to get the word out.
But the guys that you're competing with, they're not offering off-grid living. They're just offering electric.
That's right. Yep.
So you want to really get the people who want to live off-grid.
Absolutely.
Is these patentable? Do you have any patents on this, or just, are there design concept patents, or any protection here?
I do have 3 patents, one for the basic garden, window raised garden, and then storage underneath architecture, and then 2 for various furniture designs that I have on the ship, and I will be adding more patents once we get capitalized, and then design patents as well go along.
So you just mentioned that you're trying to find product market fit.
Right.
Okay. So, forgive me for saying so, but that sounds like you've got a solution looking for a problem. So, it's not that products like that or services like that haven't been successful. It's just that it's a much steeper decline. And it makes validation that much more important. Okay. Especially when you're talking about big ticket item, let's face it. Okay. So we got some good suggestions in here with regard to, partnering. Partnering is the best way to scale. Absolutely, right? Find somebody to build your ships, find somebody to help you market your ships, find somebody to help you, get all the licenses and all the other things that you're going to need, because I mean, there's a lot of other things that you haven't told us here that are involved in, making this a reality. So my point is focus a lot more on really fine tuning your target market, develop an avatar for that market. And I would suggest making a story out of your presentation of this avatar and how your solution meets their problem.
Yeah, we do have the customer avatar is the mid-40s tech employee that's working from home and tired of living in the city. So
I
that's
see
just
it
the
as,
basic.
I see it as an older play. I really would, because essentially, is this not a houseboat for the ocean?
It is.
So that target market right there is 20 years older than that.
Wouldn't it be cool if you can get like school trips? Wouldn't it be cool if you can get like camps for kids? Wouldn't it you get everyone involved? I mean, the rich people are gonna buy it. Yeah. Have you ever been on a school boat? Like never, right? Imagine if you had like a summer camp and then you spend the whole summer exploring like the Atlantic Ocean. Like
Yeah, there's
parents,
a lot of learning potential.
parents would like pay you like hand over fist, like take them.
We have time for one more question. I'll pause in the back. I've been listening to a lot, and where my head is this is a big ticket item that you need big ticket people
almost feel like they have to be. Because, you know, when the Tesla came out, it was a bigger price point than most people were used to paying for their cars. People could justify not having the gas, not having the maintenance, not having the oil change, and all that stuff to wrap that up into the number purchase. It was still a bigger ticket item than most people used to pay for the car. Well, most people don't have a vote. And most people who do get a vote understand there's also that whatever I paid for it, there's that 10 to 15% maintenance number that's added every single year for the pricing. So if I'm gonna drop 700 grand, I gotta almost be able to have a company just write that number off, or I gotta be completely changing my lifestyle, period. But you gotta make it almost like LeBron James said, I gotta have one. Steph Curry says, I gotta have one. The point where I'm striving to be like those guys because they've got the number, they can just write it off. And it's not an issue, it's around it. So figure out how to partner with those kinds of folks to make this thing fashionable. Because how many of these things you wanted to see? 15, 20,000 up in the sea? 500 or 600.
I'd like to get 1%.
Actually, I'd like to follow up that. So Tesla was a masterclass on what I was just describing, which is they basically were offering a solution in search of a problem because everybody was sufficient. Everybody, certainly car enthusiasts, we were going crazy with all the 700 horsepower cars and everything like that. Then here comes this electric car that's way too heavy, right? Looks like, I don't know, it wasn't that attractive, but they really pulled people into the product with not their marketing, because they didn't do any marketing. What they did is they pulled people in with their tactics and their strategies of entering the marketplace. And then they came up with something like their Tesla, which was just like beating all the other cars out there, you know, raw speed. Forget about turning, forget about other things. And so maybe the suggestion would be find something about what you offer that nobody else offers, hammer it and just hammer it. Okay. So freedom is one thing, that's fine, but if you want freedom, go with the refugees. I guarantee you, you know, the UN, you know, love the word things. If you could show them how you could put, you know, 50 refugees on one and keep costs down and whatnot, there's 20 places on earth that you could easily move it to place. But I'm just saying, find one thing, one aspect that nobody else offers, and then hammer it.
So that's a great point with the refugees. To answer both your guys' points, the original idea came from I need to be prepared, and this is something I don't really want to market. This is kind of fear mongering. So this would really be an ideal product for a predator type of person.
That's perfect.
Wait, you're talking about like that shelter that you would get under your house in case of the apocalypse?
This is an alternative to a bunker.
Wait, you're building the new boats when the road floods, right? I got you.
Well, I got one question that you never answered. What is it gonna cost to get one in the water? Let me hear from you. What is it gonna cost? How much you gonna need to get your prototype done and it's in the water? Because everything else is gonna come after that.
Yeah, the prototype quote came in at $1 million.
Million, so that's what you need.
And then I'm raising $2 million to cover the shop as well.
What do you mean?
500 for the team, and then 250 for contracting and incidentals, and 250 place. So I'm raising $2 million.
But you need $1 million to put one in the water.
First two, because I still have to contract out the blueprints as well.
Yeah, the first one's should budget 3 times as much for retail price.
So how much money do you need right now to say everyone's paid? There's a prototype, and now you can bring in, you know, whatever ideas you got after that.
I'll get it done for
2 million.
We're running out of time, so I'm gonna ask the final question. You've heard before, I think, in other events, what can we as a community do?
Yeah, so my goal is to, practice with speeches, so thank you all for coming out. I wanted to make connections, so find me on LinkedIn. And I'm looking for, as we talked about, capital to build the first prototype. You guys know anyone that wants to jump on board, send them my way.
I mean, we got $1 million cups for $2 a piece. There you go. You know, some
Complex cap table right there. So thank you all for coming in. Thank you.
All right. We have about 15 minutes. I'm gonna see if we can do this. Steve gave me an idea. We had lunch last week. Gave me an idea. Let's see if we can go through and introduce ourselves and tell us what you do and what your niche is, but in 2 sentences. So I'll start and give you an example. I'm Eric Deckers. I am a corporate ghostwriter, and I specialize in any B2B company. So, you know what Ben does? So Steve.
I'm Steve Shindahedi. I invented, created, and now manufacture a portable overhead garage storage rack that does not require drilling or installation other than a crescent wrench.
And I'm Peter Courier. I'm a business developer and I CEO also like.
I'm Jonathan Brown. I'm a serial entrepreneur and I raised the first $1 million ever raised by Black American institution of Wall Street. Built the company Essence, which cashed out at a half aggregate capital.
You built Essence? Awesome. This is a guy we all need to know.
Yeah, they're gonna last.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Jackson. I'm a businessman and I like them.
My name is Vanessa Singleton. Here in Florida, I'm trying to explore opportunities how to build my business, which is in 2 directions, servicing and products in AI.
I am Azad Kowassi. I am information technology project manager at one. Currently, I'm working on a new social platform. John Shalom. Business, so trying to help startups and small businesses survive.
My name is Ben Harrison. I'm the owner of a corporate pilot staffing company. We place contract pilots on a short-term needed basis with private aircraft owners and operators.
Hi, I'm Susan Myers. I'm the owner and creative director of Susan Myers Design. I'm a graphic designer, and my specialty is positioning brands for brand development and integration.
I own the Keystone Financial Company. I educate and provide solutions to business owners to show them cost-effective ways to replace services that they're already using and help them improve cash flow and get rid of personal guarantees.
Hi, I'm Julio. I'm trying to do a marketplace website, so I'm still trying to learn how all this works.
I'm a parent of me. And I have a Julio marketplace. We connect people, want to sell services, want to need services like a protect, like something much better.
I'm Rachel Ray. I am founder and managing partner of personal brand at Get Rachel Ray. I help individuals have great relationships, better income with less.
Alonzo Williams, sold my business, software company of 15 years last July. And now I'm in the space of connecting CEOs and peer groups.
My name is Bob Whitcomb. I'm here to drink Peter's coffee.
Me too.
Social.
I'm Hanner and I have a website where people can find the best happy hours in Orlando.
Yeah.
What's the name of that website?
Chilladvisor.com.
Chill Out Advisor?
No, Trip Advisor, but Chill Advisor.
My name is CJ. I'm a young investor in real estate and I'm helping other people manage their.
I'm Stoic Dan, your local philosopher and organizer of the Orlando Stoics. It's a philosophy discussion group. My purpose here is to start a business ethics program for entrepreneurs of startups and existing businesses.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm Vanessa, so I'm actually trying to get traction for a startup idea that I have, talking about it, but my day job is I'm a structural engineer and I also do real estate on the side and have real estate development. But beyond that, I'm trying to expand to just do my there.
I'm Scott Hill. I'm developing a co-working space concept down by the convention center.
My name is Rupert Magnat and I'm a lifelong entrepreneur and project manager. And my mission is to drastically increase startups' ability to achieve sustainable success by not doing what everybody else is.
And I want to start a company with a team of members and developing and programs. Recently, we launched a spot. So anybody looking for the product?
I'm Vijay and I am 21 years old.
Yeah.
And I have 24 years of corporate experience working with software teams. I was a technical project manager. I own a software incubator or software startup incubator. So we build mobile apps, web apps for the startups who are looking to grow, and we do it for an equity share. And we specialize in Web3, blockchain, and tokenomics.
That was great.
I added
A lot of comments.
All right, all right. So now, if you heard somebody say something about what they do that you want to know more about, or that you need help with, or Vanessa's got a new idea, I'm sure we all want to swarm her and give her all kinds of advice. Hook up, connect, meet, go out for coffee, go out for lunch. I don't think Snow Bean down the road is open until 11, but we've got plenty of local independent coffee shops around. So connect with somebody and get to know each other. Next week, we're still looking for speakers. So if you would like to present and maybe introduce your new idea, Vanessa, we would love to have you go to 1millioncups.com/Orlando, click the present button, fill out the form, and we can rush through the process and get you up here where Ben was in 167 hours. So we will see you all next week.